Hi there, if you're listening to this, it's probably because you're interested in building up your employability skills. Thanks for coming through to the video on one of the pages. I hope you've already made use of some of the other videos, and if you haven't already, I'd encourage you to go back and listen to some of the earlier episodes where we share some stories, and also to hop over to sunflowereducation.co.uk where you can get your free starter guide and some top tips for good employability skills. This is Alistair Resnicki here, coming to you from one of my local coffee hangouts. I'm in Bath today, and just popped outside into the garden to have a coffee and do a little bit of work, take a break from the office environment. And what's been really interesting on the way here is I've had two conversations. One is with someone who owns a shop in Bath, and I asked them what they thought about employing people and the state of employability skills in the UK. And the first thing they said was, I'm just never going to employ someone. I don't want the hassle. Why would I spend my time and money employing someone? Now, they only have a small shop. This person's about 50. They weren't happy to be recorded on audio. But they had some pretty strong views about employability, and in particular the lack of skills with people, and also the demand that people put on employers. And if you are young and you haven't had a job yet, or if you're thinking of getting a job, or you're in work, sometimes it can be easy, and I don't mean to sound patronising, but it can be easy just to feel like you're entitled to that job. But actually, when someone's employed, it's actually very expensive to the employer. And I think that's what this person was trying to say. You know, if I, for example, employ someone, I need to have a desk, I need to have a telephone, I need to have a computer for them, I need to have insurances, I need to have equipment, I need to have inductions, I need to have extra equipment, I need to train them. And these things all add up to thousands and thousands of pounds before you even get to a point where you're paying someone. So you're making an investment in every single employee. And, you know, if you know me, and if you know a little bit of the background as what I'm doing with these employability resources, you know that they've been made because of a frustration that I and other business owners have experienced. And a lot of that is down to what we deem to be, and what I deem to be, a lack of employability skills in young people. And it's not necessarily anyone's fault, any one individual fault, but it is a real problem. So, for example, if people are turning up late, if they're dressed inappropriately, and if they are not working to add value, then really they're just draining the business. And that's what this person was saying. They're saying, I won't go near employing people. Every now and again, they have someone in to help on an ad hoc basis, but they won't employ. And this is something I feel like a lot of the time it's a challenge to employ people when they don't have employability skills. The second conversation I've had is with one of the coffee baristas who made my coffee here today, and they're a recent graduate, and they're a very passionate, energetic young person. They're obviously very bright, and the first thing they said when we started talking about employability was they talked about their friends, and they said that they worry for their friends because a lot of their friends have come through university, and they have a sense of entitlement. They think that they're going to walk out of university and straight into a £30,000 a year job, and they're going to have everything their own way. And this person was very quick to illustrate the fact that they know that their friends aren't very employable by the way they dress, and I think they said by the way they act as well. And I think the word there, which was key, that came out of their mouths, was entitlement. This idea that a lot of people feel entitled to work. And, you know, I want to agree with that. I want to agree that everyone does have the right to work and should have a job. But both people today that I've spoken to, very briefly, have both said there's always someone there willing to jump in your place. And I would have to agree with that. There is someone always there willing to jump in your place. And why I feel like that was because I've been that person. That might sound bad, but I've been that person throughout my career who has gone into employment situations, has looked at the opportunity presented, and has looked at the people who might be going for that job, and I've said to myself, I'm going to be a better employee. I'm going to be there earlier, I'm going to work longer, I'm going to work harder, I'm going to ask more questions, I'm going to make more notes, I'm going to provide more value, and I'm going to do a better job. Because it is a competition. When you're at school or college and you're in, on a sports event, you want to win the race, or you want to partake in a team that wins the race. And it's kind of the same with employability. And I think that what I've experienced as a business owner in the last 5 years is a lot of people who have turned up and they feel like they deserve a medal, and they've not put the training in, or they've not asked the right questions, or they've not been taught the employability skills, which is not their fault. But then they come and they say, give me a medal. And it's a silly analogy, but I think it's kind of true. You don't win the race if you're an athlete without training for hours and hours and hours and hours, without putting in the time, without learning, improving, understanding, and figuring out the way to win the race, or come very high up in the race, or partake in a team. And there is a problem at the moment. There is a problem that I've experienced many, many times as a small business owner, and there is a growing problem in the United Kingdom with people not understanding what employers want. And I'm not here to point fingers at anyone, but what I am here to do is pass on direct skills and to share resources like these videos that encourage people to start building up their own employability skills, to take responsibility and to take action, to say, what is it I can do to add value to every employment situation that I find myself into? Because those who do add value will be asked back. And okay, in the start, you might be working for free, or you might be working for a very low wage, but over time, those skills will accumulate and you'll add more value, and you'll become of a greater benefit, and your financial situation will improve, hopefully, because your salary will improve, your responsibility will improve, and you will climb up the ladder and go further. And I believe that's true, and I know that's true because I've been that person who started off with very little, from a very poor background, who has made that happen, and now I have a company, and that's what I plan to do with my company. Learn, improve, add greater value, and increase the opportunity to myself, to my company, and also to what we call my bottom line, which is basically how much money I get to keep after all of my business expenses and my taxes. I'm just going to sip my coffee. Now, it's always interesting to hear what young people think and people who may be struggling. So do go over to the Facebook site if you're not on there already, which is employability resources from Sunflower Education. You can leave comments there. We will endeavour to read them and get back to you, or take them on board. And you can go over to the Shopify site, which is sunflower-education.myshopify.com, where there's going to be 100 top tips for employability skills. And if it's not there already, bear with us, because that's at the moment being created. What I want you to take away from this short talk is I want you to think, what is it I can do to make myself a better employee in the short term? So one thing you can do is you can set a goal of where you want to be in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years from now. So for example, when I was about 17, 18, I thought I want to work at the BBC and I want to direct. Now I didn't end up working at the BBC, but I worked at the competitor, ITN. And just having that goal in mind helped me focus on what I was studying, on the sort of person I wanted to become, of the sort of questions I needed to ask to get the knowledge, and on the books I needed to read, the videos I needed to watch. And set goals, okay? That's the first thing. Set goals. Do research on the internet. Watch videos on YouTube. If you can do me a favor, share these videos so more people can get access to the resources we're putting together. But you go away, watch videos on YouTube from people who've been there, done it. Read books. If you can't afford the books, go onto the internet, research careers. BBC has lots of great resources. Every industry has resources for careers development. And you know what? Get the phone number of one person or two people in the industry who've been successful and phone them up. Okay? Phone them up and put in a request to ask them 5 or 10 questions. Say, I want to be in your position in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Can you please answer these 5 questions? How did you start? What did you study? How many hours did you work per week, in the first 5 years of your career? What are the secrets you have that can help me? And, that will cost you the price of a phone call or email. That's free. So anyone can build up employability skills. They just need to have the desire to want to build successes, and anyone can do it. So set goals. Okay, ask yourself, where do you want to be? Start breaking down the steps you need to take through research, and then try and find a couple of people who've done what you want to do, and try and get in contact with them, be persistent, and ask them, how did you become a doctor? How did you become a nurse? How did you become the top scientist? How did you become a Formula One driver? How did you become a TV director, in my case, and things like that? Engage with people because they have the knowledge that you need to get to where you want to be. Okay, I'm going to stop it there because I have a tendency to ramble, and also my coffee's getting cold. I hope this has been of use. Keep an eye on the other episodes. Like I said, share the Facebook site and the sunflowereducation.co.uk resource around your social media sites if you can. That helps me grow this and see that it's providing value to yourselves. And if it's providing value, what I can do is give it more time, and I can try to expand the resources using my company and using the connections that we have, so that more people are getting employability skills that add value to them and ultimately help small, medium and large businesses, so that everyone wins in the end, because that's ultimately what we're trying to achieve. Thanks a lot. Take care and I'll speak to you soon.